I didn't realize Steve knew the author. I really should have read this when he first asked.
Whenever I read this book, I can still hear the General's voice in my head.
Good girl, Charlie.
The more we work together, the more I'm impressed. And I'm hard to impress. If you haven't already, you should welcome Logan. You good?
I am ready.
Before we start, I want to welcome Logan to the book club. What did you think of the book?
I didn't read it.
Okay then, guess I'll start. Steve, I really enjoyed this book.
What stood out to you?
I know people have different approaches to leading others, but I never considered what drives them to do so. Take Custer. He led from the front and was mostly loved by his troops, but his drive for personal glory affected every choice he made. Eventually, Custer picked a fight he couldn't handle. His recklessness led to the death of himself and every soldier he commanded.
His mistake was making decisions to elevate his own standing instead of his troops.
Makes sense. The better they do, the more he gets credit for leading them to victory. I think the biggest lesson, beyond don't be Custer, is that an outsized ego is a double-edged sword for a leader.
Also, you can't just get through life with a pretty face.
I thought you didn't read the book.
I didn't, but I picked things up from context.
I learned more about George Washington from this book than anything I was taught in school.
Yeah, that surprised me as well.
Before this, I associated him with statues, paintings, and the dustiest parts of American history. But here we see a military leader whose personal ambition was the victory of his army. He was clear-eyed about his goals and knew how to get out of his own way. Washington led from the top, though he kept counsel with various advisors. Once he made a decision, he expected his subordinates to follow his orders.
For less capable people, that sounds far too rigid a way to lead.
Yeah, I find it's best to leave some wiggle room. Give your people objectives and the resources to achieve them. More than anyone else in the book, Washington believed true leadership is a contract bestowed upon you by those whom you lead.
And that's where the book gets its title?
Right. The mantle of authority. It's something that augments you.
Which brings us to our final profile.
We really don't have to do this one.
And now I'm interested.
Steve, how long have you bugged me to read this?
Not because of the chapter on me. You all know General Phillips selected me for the Super Soldier program. For a time, he commanded me in the field, and that's why my profile is in the book. He was kind to say I led by example. Maybe that's how it used to be. But the Avengers isn't a military organization. If I gave Tony an order, he'd laugh in my face. To get anything done, I need the group's consensus. I can't give pretty speeches about the need to sacrifice. I have to show that putting in the effort today will make a better tomorrow.
It cannot be as simple as you make it sound.
Oh, it never is. It's a constant struggle, and you won't always see eye to eye. Still, I find it's absolutely worth the effort. Leadership you can gain, but trust, that you have to earn. But I find little enjoyment in talking about myself, so yeah, let's end it here.
All right, we'll call it here. Next month is... Hunter, do you have any books to suggest?
None from the past few centuries.
Then Logan could pick the next one.
Sure. The Adventures of Crash Morgan #5, The Last Queen of Deimos.
What is that exactly?
It's about a space explorer with a ray gun, a jetpack, and a fishbowl helmet. Travels through space with a robot dog. They get in wacky adventures.
That's a classic. A buddy of mine had that in basic.
I'm always up for space nonsense.
I'm not, but that's the book. I'll give it a shot.
I'm not sure why Logan joined book club if he's not going to read the books.
You are not required to do so.
Come on, it's the principle.
I'm actually surprised Steve recommended this book.
Why?
Steve can take a compliment, but he's uncomfortable with praise, especially from someone he respects.
What did you think?
Well, the punch is decent, but there should have been a bigger spread.
What I meant, what did you think about book club?
I just told you. Thumbs up for Punch, thumbs down for snacks.
Well, at least Logan showed up.
You did not think he would.
I wasn't sure he'd be into book club, and I don't know what to expect from that book of his.
The name alone has me intrigued.
Maybe you're right. I should learn to roll with the unexpected.
You welcomed a resurrected demon slayer into your life. Now we read books together.
Can't argue with that. When you first joined, I wanted you to keep an open mind about book club. I owe Logan the same courtesy you showed me.
Good call.
On your way out?
I should leave.
Good meeting.
Wanda, there's something I ought to say to you.
Oh?
You were right about Lilith's tomb.
Did you just say I was right about something?
I did. Just as you were probably right about other things, too. Many other things. You let an old, stubborn immortal let you take the blame for so much.
You were hurting. You needed something to point to.
And here I was thinking I was the one who was supposed to take care of all of you. I am sorry, Wanda. For everything.
So am I.
I see you and Caretaker are on the mend.
Seems so. I should be happy about it. But how can I be happy about anything when the Temple of Cthon is wreaking havoc on my home? I grew up in Transia, you know. In a remote village at the foot of Mount Wondercore. It's all destroyed now. Along with those poor people's lives.
Wanda, I am so sorry.
Not as sorry as they are. I can promise you that.
We will save them. That I can promise.
And I'd like to be around to help them. But first, we have to stop your mom. I'm afraid of her, you know. Of seeing her. I mean, what if it happens again? What if she turns me back into bad Wanda? What if I go dark?
If it came to that, we would find a way of removing her corruption again.
I appreciate that, but I don't think you're going to have time for all that while you're also trying to stop Cthon from tentacle climbing into this dimension.
You're right. We probably would not have time to save you.
You wouldn't?
I am joking.
Oh, you almost got me there.
No one is leaving you behind, ever again.
Promise?
Cross my heart.
Well, I ought to get back to the news. See what new horrors are befalling my hometown.
Do not watch too much of it. The overconsumption of news media is supposed to be bad for your mental health, especially during an apocalypse.
There are worse things for your mental health, Hunter. And I'm pretty sure I've experienced them all. I'll take my chances with a little cable news. Night.
Can you not feel it, child? The end is upon us.
You have gone too far, Mother.
I could say the same to you, child. Leaving me for dead and buried under that mountain. What a way to treat your mother.
Next time I will